इंसान अपने जीवन में चाहे जितनी भी धन संपत्ति, सुख साधना की प्राप्ति
Please
क्यों न
speak,
कर
sir.
ले, लेकिन उसका स्वास्थ्य ही उसका सबसे बड़ा धन होता है।
Sir,
ये
we
कहावत सुनी
unmuted.
हम
You
सब ने
please
है,
speak, sir.
लेकिन आज की
Hello, can
तेज
you hear me?
रफ्तार
Can
दुनिया
you hear
में
me,
इस
please?
बात को हम कहीं भूल गए हैं।
Boring.
देखा जाए तो हमारे स्वास्थ्य और कल्याण से संबंधित 70% समस्याएं गलत जीवन शैली के कारण ही होती हैं। इन सब समस्याओं से लड़ने के लिए क्रैक द वेलनेस कोड (CWC) ग्लोबल की शुरुआत सिलिकॉन वैली में की गई थी। CWC एक गैर राजनीतिक, गैर धार्मिक और गैर व्यावसायिक संस्था है जो हर उम्र के लोगों की वेलनेस यानी कि कल्याण को बढ़ाने की कोशिश करती है। अपने शरीर और मन की देखभाल करो, ये ही वो जगह है जहां हमें हमेशा रहना है। CWC सैन फ्रांसिस्को बे एरिया में एक जबरदस्त वेलनेस मूवमेंट की तरह जाना जाता है। सिलिकॉन वैली में अपने जबरदस्त काम से CWC ने अमेरिका में रहने वाले ना जाने कितने भारतीय मूल के लोगों की जिंदगी बदली है और अपनी इस अपार सफलता के बाद अब CWC ग्लोबल हमारे देश में आ रहा है CWC इंडिया फाउंडेशन के नए रूप में। वेलनेस का मतलब होता है कि हम हमारे रोजमर्रा के जीवन में ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छी आदतों का पालन करें ताकि आप समग्र रूप से स्वस्थ और अपना जीवन पूर्ण ऊर्जा से जिएं। स्वस्थ तन में ही रहते हैं स्वस्थ मन और विचार। अगर चाहते हैं खुश रहना तो ना होने दे इसे बीमार। CWC इंडिया फाउंडेशन का लक्ष्य है 5 साल में 50 लाख लोगों की खुशहाली को बढ़ाना और इसके लिए जो मंत्र बनाया गया है वो है ई एडुकेट, आई इंस्पायर, ई एम्पावर, आई इम्पैक्ट। अब प्रश्न है कि ये कैसे होगा। सबसे पहले बात करते हैं ई यानी कि एडुकेट की। CWC इंडिया फाउंडेशन अपने पार्टिसिपेंट्स को कंटेंट के द्वारा एडुकेट करेंगे। ये कंटेंट आपको ऑनलाइन हमारी वेबसाइट पर और ऑफलाइन हमारे वेलनेस रिसोर्स सेंटर पर उपलब्ध है। वेलनेस रिसोर्स सेंटर एक ऐसी जगह है जहां आपको स्वास्थ्य से संबंधित सभी रिसोर्सेज उपलब्ध हैं। ये रिसोर्सेज विशेषज्ञों के द्वारा सुझाए गए हैं और यहां पर आपको और भी सेवाएं उपलब्ध होंगी जैसे कि योग, प्राणायाम, स्वस्थ आहार के बारे में जानकारी और लाइव वेलनेस सेशंस का भी लाभ उठा सकते हैं। साथ ही हम आपको वेबिनार्स, वर्कशॉप्स और सपोर्ट ग्रुप्स के द्वारा स्वास्थ्य विशेषज्ञों से भी जोड़ते हैं जो आपको वेलनेस पर रिसर्च बेस्ड जानकारी देते हैं। अब आते हैं आई यानी कि इंस्पायर। डॉक्टर्स, वेलनेस प्रैक्टिशनर्स और हमारे हेल्थ हीरोज के सहयोग से आपको वेलनेस के लिए प्रेरित किया जाता है। ई यानी कि एम्पावर। सहभागियों को सपोर्ट ग्रुप्स, वेबिनार्स, वेलनेस रिसोर्स सेंटर तथा और भी अन्य प्रकार की गतिविधियों से वेलनेस को अपने जीवन का अभिन्न अंग बनाने के लिए सशक्त करते हैं। आई यानी कि इम्पैक्ट। जैसा कि हमने बताया CWC इंडिया फाउंडेशन का अगले 5 साल में कम से कम 50 लाख भारतीयों की वेलनेस पर काम करने का दृढ़ संकल्प है। CWC इंडिया फाउंडेशन वेलनेस के 10 अलग अलग आयामों पर काम करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है और ये है फिजिकल वेलनेस मतलब शारीरिक स्वास्थ्य, इमोशनल एंड मेंटल वेलनेस मतलब भावनात्मक और मानसिक स्वास्थ्य, इसी तरीके से ऑक्यूपेशनल वेलनेस, फाइनेंशियल वेलनेस, स्पिरिचुअल वेलनेस, कल्चरल वेलनेस, सोशल वेलनेस, एनवायरमेंटल वेलनेस, लीगल वेलनेस, टेक्निकल वेलनेस। भारत विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में अच्छा कर रहा है, लेकिन जब स्वास्थ्य और कल्याण की बात करें तो हम उसमें बहुत से देशों से पीछे हैं। आज भारत ग्लोबल वेलनेस इंडेक्स में 156 देशों में 140th रैंक पर है। आपको और हम सबको मिलकर इस स्थिति को बदलना है और भारत को इस क्षेत्र में भी आगे बढ़ाना है। आइए हम सब मिलकर इस संकल्प से जुड़ जाएं। धन्यवाद।
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Sharat Kamra from Crack the Wellness Code Foundation. So, amazing session, balancing health and business. It is one of the most talked about topic these days because people are really juggling with health and balancing the two. So let's create a beginning for this great, wonderful session. I invite Mr. Naren Bakshi, who's our founder. of Crack the Wellness Code India Foundation. And along with that, of course, he played such a strong role being the co-founder at Crack the Wellness Code Global Foundation. So over to you, Naren sir. Please introduce our both speakers. We have great luminaries with us, Mr. S.N. Agarwal and Mr. Mavi Sharma. We'll be steering this conversation together. So over to you, sir.
So Sharad, thanks a lot for your good words. And thanks to Mr. Kala, who is our managing director, and the whole team for organizing this. Let me start by saying that it is said that one should avoid making mistakes by learning from role models, but it's also true that if you are able to correct a mistake and openly share your mistakes and how you were able to correct, then you might be helping many, many others. So as you can see from my own before and after pictures, I was in a very bad health. But since I was able to correct it, this personal experience led me to devote my time to CWC Global as well as India. With great deal of happiness, on a personal level, two true health heroes of two generations are here today with us. They fall into two different categories. One, of course, is my contemporary, my fellow alumni, S.N. Agarwal, and Mavi Sharma, the next generation. So to have these two people who have accepted to join it, I want to thank them. So with this, let me say that it is my privilege, SN, to introduce you. You don't need too much introduction. I know that SNG, you are somebody that is very well known. You are the distinguished top alumni of my Birla Institute. I've known you for 15 years closely. You are an inspiring, multifaceted business leader, the eldest son of legendary, self-made, first generation PDG. I've read his book, very inspiring. Furthermore, you and your brothers have created so many different institutions, business institutions, all the way from what you have done, Bhoruka Power, Bhoruka Oxygen, Gati, TCI, and on and on and on. But you're not just a business leader, you are a great family leader. I know that firsthand. You are also a contributor to society, served in many capacities as IIM, DIT Mesra, IISC, Wiki, SARC, and many others. The numbers are long. I also want to let everybody know that you are not just doing these things, but you're also very involved in philanthropies, especially in Rajasthan as well as in South India. Very, very inspiring thing. I also know your brother, younger brother, Ashok Agarwal from Jaipur, who has established one of the top institutions of health education, Indian Institute of Health Management Research. And I know that everybody in your family respects you. With this, Mahavir, I've known you in a fairly different way. You know, I got to know you in 2002 when I came to Jaipur, and in the first session you were there as a young entrepreneur. I must say younger than me. And starting from 2002, now you've reached a point, unbelievable point, in the same Thai Rajasthan institution that I helped found, to reach a level that nobody ever has reached in 25 years history of Thai, to get elected as a global chair for 60 chapter, 17 country institution is not only a great honor to you, but great honor to Thai Rajasthan, but also India. I've also known you on a personal basis. You are one of those people, SN, who just like you can juggle his balls. He is into carpets, he is into jewelry, he can be in events management, he can do all kinds of community support, including he is our ambassador for CWC. That's why he is here to interview you, SN. With this, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining today. And Mahavir, it's all to you. Do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Narenji. Good morning, everyone, and Mr. S. N. Agarwal. It's always an honor to be interacting with you. I've heard so much about you through different people, and it's an absolute honor to be talking to you and understanding from what your point of view is health or fitness or the right attitude, as if I might say. So, sir, quickly, I'll get into the question so that the audience can get inspiration from your life's journey and what you do. How important is health for you as a journey of life? Is it a matter of process, or is it a matter of something that should be habitual and it should be integrated into your daily life? Can you hear me, sir? We can't
Mr.
hear you.
Agarwal, are we audible?
No, sir. I cannot.
Oh, I think he logged off and he's going to log in again.
Okay.
While we wait, good morning, everyone. While we wait for him to join in, Mahavir, can I ask you a question? You are a health hero yourself. You
Sure,
maintain such a fit regime. So how do you do it?
I actually wanted to listen from Mr. Agarwal, but I personally feel that keeping healthy and
So we just test SN a little. Sorry, there is a technical glitch at that end.
oh, there he is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
There he
yeah.
is.
SN, can you hear us? Mr. Agarwal?
No, sir.
Okay. See, in the morning we tested Naveen. It was working fine.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear us?
No, sir.
If you can't hear us, how can you say no?
Are you responding?
Huh.
Can you speak again?
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Hello?
But my speaker is not working. Your voice
can
is
hear
not
you.
audible.
So basically, maybe you need to get a headphone or unmute the laptop or.
Can you give him the headphones or anything, earplugs?
Just a minute.
हमें आपकी आवाज आ रही है, आपको हमारी आ रही है?
आ रही है?
We have tested in the morning. It was perfectly fine, both ways. Meanwhile, SN joins Mavi. You've been traveling around the world, and just a question that comes to my mind is that the kind of experiences which we have here in India, people often keep on complaining they don't have time for their health. They don't have time for their health, and they keep on running and juggling with their entire health. What do you see across the world? When you meet people, is it the same thing? You're on mute.
I think, I think it is pretty much the same. I think we don't prioritize our health. We give priority to success, money, fame, at times other things of leisure. But I think continue to know, especially, and I think that's a challenge.
So that means across the world, if you look at the way people respond to health, it's not many people who keep it on priority.
Absolutely not. And I think that's where the challenge is, and that's where I was looking towards inspirational stories from Mr. Agarwal. Because he follows a strict routine. There he is. Sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Great,
Okay,
we can
great,
hear you.
great, excellent.
So we'll straight get into the question. And thank you for being here. It's an honor to be talking to you and taking inspiration from your life's journey and what you have done in so many years, specifically to health. So, sir, my first question is that how important in your mind is health for an Indian diaspora or Indian state of mind, in your opinion, when you see people around, while people like you have done tremendously well in looking at your own self inwards. What do you see around you, the youngsters, the middle-aged people? Is it challenging or is it encouraging?
So first of all, I must thank Naren, my very dear friend, Mahavirji and Sharad, for organizing this event. And Naren is a very dear old friend, so he normally pushes very hard and you can't get away from him, but all for good cause, good things. And he makes it point very clear again and again. So that's where I am here today. And I realize that it's my moral commitment to share my views with all my nearer and dearer ones, my family, my friends, etc., about my commitment to health. And as Mahavirji has asked, how do I see it? I think very philosophically, if you look at it, I feel it is important that one should do a little balancing act here in the life, because I have seen very closely some top businessmen in the country. Top means, I would say, top 10 type. They worked hard, like my father for that matter. It was almost rather impossible for them to slow down. And they would always readily admit, no, there is no way that I can slow down. I will go, pass away unnoticed anytime. So the life as an age would not have been much. But even with an age, if the life was limited to work alone, work, then they haven't seen many aspects of life. Many aspects of life can only be seen, enjoyed, felt, or like on the other end of it, you call Vipassana type. If your health is good, and if the health is good, then your cognitive functions, your brain, your medical parameters, which inhibits you at times due to your diabetic or high blood pressure, or many other diseases that you may develop by neglecting your health. So I from last over maybe 20 years or so, I may have been doing a little bit of justice to myself to start working at it. And I'm glad that, a little bit of commitment was needed from my side, and I did show it and come around. So in today's talk, I probably will be addressing young people of 60 years of age, as we normally read nowadays quite a bit. The current old age starts at 80 years. And I personally have felt that myself, that I'm 76 now. I probably would have taken up very seriously the health, many aspects of health, probably only when I was 75. So it's not very long back that I started. So I personally feel all those who feels that they have been left out, they can start it today. It is not too late at 75. That is my experience. And you can easily make up in next 2, 3, 4, 5 years what you have lost. So, or before it is too late. That was one. And two, I felt that it is my duty to motivate my immediate family members, my wife, my two granddaughters, my sons and grandchildren. And if you, as head of the family, can show them your commitment, I found it was very easy for my family, everybody. Like my wife and myself, we have been walking for last maybe 40 years. And my older son, he runs 10 kilometers per day, and he clocks 100 kilometer minimum per month. My younger son recently did crossed English Channel and a couple of other places too. And my grandchildren are also athlete or the expert in some games or the other. Even a child of 7 years old will ask, Dadu, is it fit or fat? Shall I eat or shall I not eat this? So this culture has to be created by the head of the family. So they will see you, they will imitate you, and they will follow. So this is another very important angle of we as a parent should do. And today, there is a tremendous amount of resources are available for one to educate himself by connecting with the various resources that you can easily get in the this internet age, which are not there some time back, but today you are connected with literally everything. Even at the age of 5, a grandchild would connect himself to something or the other, open my computer for that matter. So I feel when the resources are easily available, one should make some effort to connect it with them. And I personally feel the investment that we make in a business, let's say it is 15-20%, but guaranteed it is here is over 100% of your investment in terms of time or cost that you make, you will get year on year a 100% return. So this is where I think unquestionably one should follow. You can easily avoid by committed to this, as I mentioned earlier, medical parameters, and especially dementia, which is the one disease which happens very easily if you are not very active. And I have seen my own relatives who have suffered on account of dementia at a very young age of 65, and they remain in bed for 10, 15, 20 years. So I normally tell my children that I would not like to be tied down to a bed at any time. If that situation comes, then just put me to sleep. I would hate to hurt my my self-esteem or the mentality of that I have to be stuck to the bed. There's no point in living that life. And if that being the case, you might as well be committed to your health, which doesn't mean beyond an hour or little more per day type. And I would mention later what exactly that I do. And one is that when it comes to diet, for myself, sugar is literally considered as a poison. I would not touch it directly or added sugar, or especially check the labels where sugar is there or not on most of the packaging, which is written in a very fine, or even the chemical stevia type of sugar alternative is totally no for me. I would avoid wheat completely. In my case, I had IBS problem, which I could sort it out by avoiding wheat. I also don't take dairy, milk and all. And sweets are zero. By and large, though I love sweets, we indulge once in a while, being a Calcuttan on a Rasgulla or Sandesh type. But generally, I would avoid sweets. So this is one thing that I follow very seriously. We are generally, I'm vegetarian at home, my whole family, and I will probably eat non-veg limited to fish or chicken type when I'm traveling outside or in my office. That also helps a lot in balancing my. And when it comes to the grains, I would follow or use mostly millets of Bajra, where I have grown with Bajra in my childhood days in Rajasthan, where I was born, or here Ragi that I take, or Jawar. So mostly, or Amaranth, some of these millets will be my staple food here. I probably would take a toast, sourdough toast, not the plain white one, along with the egg in the morning in the breakfast. And strictly no for maida or any fried stuff. Or in the morning, breakfast would be idli, vada, dokla, pawa, sabudana, a lot of dal chilla. Some of these things carefully, you have to apply your mind and communicate with your kitchen or with your wife that they give you these things instead of we are used to sometimes in indulging into mostly wrong food. So I believe it is important that we should try and draw a line. What is what all we should not be eating. That's what I mentioned now. And then the question comes, what should you be eating? Then that also is a matter of detailing on. And this is something which you cannot do in 1 year or 1 day. It is a matter of practice that you should, training of mind, basically, as they say, on a daily basis. It's like today, of late, we have started hearing intermittent fasting. If somebody's goal is to reduce the weight, then he has to go for intermittent fasting. And if you do it instead of 12 hours, which is done regularly, all you need to do, skip a meal, say breakfast or any other meal, go for a 16-hour break. That additional 4-hour break or the last 1 hour, 2-hour break will do miracle to your weight control, which you can easily get. Otherwise, you keep complaining, I'm doing everything in the world, but my weight is not going down. No, they are not doing everything in the world. They are not doing anything when it comes to weight reduction. And weight reduction, the primary and the most important thing would be you stretch your fasting to 16 hours. And I know many people, and accidentally, whenever I did, I was mighty surprised to see that I survived. Nothing happened to me. But again, it is a mental training of mind where I know many friends of mine, they have now got so used to it that they can easily manage 2 meals in a day. So again, like this, there's a lot of discipline is needed into what to eat and what not to eat. That comes out of a commitment from everybody. And I also have noticed that almost 20 years back, a friend of mine, Mr. K.K. Modi, is addressing a gathering, and I was sitting in the front, and he said, "SN, it's 10 in the morning, man, you're sleeping already in the front benches." Or I was on a tour, my daughter-in-law Nidhi, in a holiday, she was shooting me every time that after 10 minutes I'll come and sleep. I was so tired and lack of energy. So I've seen the lowest myself. And one simple thing that people don't know, that 80% of the energy comes from fat, not from protein, not from carb. And what are those fat? That is like our desi ghee, we call it nowadays, modern world, A2 ghee type, or butter, or the best fat that I would always take when available every day, avocado. So put an avocado in anything that you want. I would put it on a sourdough toast bread and avocado, especially at 5 p.m. in the evening, which is the most difficult time for you to either spoil your dinner or do something to overcome your hunger. So at that point of time, at 5 p.m., either sweet potato, as they call it, shakkar gandhi, or avocado toast, or some light masala muri, as we call it in Calcutta, that we are quite used to it. So find something which is not too much of carb, no sugar, sweet, and not much of oily or fried stuff. Like fried stuff would mean at times we are used to bhujia. My youngest brother, Dr. Ashok in Jaipur, he must have bhujia on a daily in his diet. And when I rub bhujia in my hand, I find it's full of oil. So one has to be careful, even check your fingers, that you are full of oil or not. That's one thing. Then in my food, normally I will, especially if I'm ordering in the hotel and all, I will try to see either grilled vegetables or fish or chicken, sorted vegetables, especially it comes in continental food in any case. Or I try different cuisines also besides our home food, like Japanese sushi, Thai, Chinese, Mexican, Italian, all those on different days in the day, I probably would relish other than the home food at the dinner time. I would avoid eating out most of the time. I would eat at home before going to a party in the night. When the party starts at 9, in any case, but I would have taken my food normally at 8 o'clock. So I am quite at peace to go there, take a drink, and by the time they start eating, I leave the place and come. Because I got to sleep by 10 p.m. to get up at 5 in the morning. At 5:40, I'm in the park. And then I do about 4.5 kilometers. We measure myself and Uma, we'll measure the timing every day. Have I done it in 46 minutes or 47 minutes? And out of that 4.5 kilometer, I would run 1 kilometer. And my target is to improve every day or every week by a little bit so that I can reach, say, 2 kilometers in the next 6 months or so. That's where I'm able to test my strength, that to be able to prove that I am strong enough that I can run. And this I learned from my son, Vicky, in Jakarta, who sends me in the morning every day that he has done 10 kilometers. So a little bit of trick here and there, I try to pick up from him. And some of the important food that we normally may not take note of it, let's say seeds. There are many seeds that I take. Chia seed is one of the best ones. Caraway, flax seeds, sabja seeds, methi seeds, roasted hemp seeds, sesame roasted. So they in a different timing, different proportions, and different helping comes along. That's where I find my connecting to Luke is the most authentic, scientifically proven advice that I get from Luke on a daily basis or a weekly basis, where they will monitor your diet along with various supplements of these seeds that I mentioned. And there are many other products which we normally do not know. They will be mentioning to you to order in Amazon, where it is easily available. So get those products as recommended by them and consume them as suggested by them. That has also been very helpful in disciplining and balancing my requirement in terms of fruits, vegetables, seeds, grains, etc. So the real balance of protein, fat, fiber is important than to have only one or the other. So this balancing is very technical. When it comes from a technical person, I'm a technocrat, so I easily appreciate and follow the technicalities part of it, and I'm getting benefited. My goal was not to reduce my weight, which is not the case. The most important thing that I told them, that I will look for my gastric health, my digestive health, and that was pretty bad at one time and pretty good now, recovered. And if I had need to cut down on weight, yeah, it can be done with their advice, which for the time being I'm not following. Some of the good things that I take, there's something called mushroom coffee, jamun powder, lemon water with hing after lunch and dinner, something like that. Then here, how much to eat? Like I eat only one roti in the lunch and one roti in dinner, which could be either bajra, jowar, or ragi type. And timing was important. Sleeping time is important. Our no junk food. Generally, I would avoid any junk food or even snacking. It will happen when you get to visit some place here and there. But yeah, I would at home, we will not be doing snacking or junk food, something like that. And about my drink, I don't drink much. I normally just drink to break my day before the dinner. I would measure my drink, 40 ml per evening. So that's only to satisfy that, yeah, a little bit of a change in of the order of the day instead of drinking heavily. So that is what I would not do. Then there are a lot of superfoods. Sometimes we don't realize that they have a lot of benefit if regularly consumed. A few of them I can mention, like moringa, drumstick. We all eat, but we should realize a very important one, avocado, blueberry type. And similarly, the nuts should be soaked nuts always, should not be taken directly. And the most important one would be walnut. Then you come to macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, almonds after that, or pista. You can take some of them. Then you can take anjeer and dates and add honey here and there. But possibly Manuka honey. Manuka honey is much more potential and better to consume. Even dark chocolate, 70% dark chocolate. I mean, I'm telling all this because I'm taking all of them. The dark chocolate, maybe one small cube or two, not too much. But I keep them generally ready because my grandchildren will come and they immediately attack the fridge for the chocolate. So they'll always find it there. Then my personal lifestyle would be, of course, I'm very busy with my work. You can say 24/7. I travel a lot on a weekly travel, maybe little less than my brother DP Agrawal in Delhi, who runs also an empire in the name of TCI. But we do travel, and I like to attend the places of journalism, especially JLF in Jaipur. I've been attending every year now of late. I love to do that. I love to read also. I haven't opened TV in the last 3 years at all. I would have been only on YouTube, or on YouTube, especially to watch videos on health, fitness, food, golf, listening to Shekhar Gupta type. Very little to the news. News, I read it only on my tablet. And I normally will read first in Indian papers in the morning, and little later, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and CNN. So that I'm generally connected to the global political, social, and economic developments. And then to be able to socialize, I have distinctive groups that I follow. I would not be having too many friends directly per se. There are few where I would normally ring them up and go to their dinner when I'm visiting Delhi, Bombay, or Jaipur type, like Naren is in Jaipur for that matter. So it's not easy to find good friends. That is what. But in a group, clicks very well, I find, for me. We, brother of 5 of us, we regularly go for holidays for 3-4 days, 5 days, twice in a year. One of them happens to be in our own village, where DP, my brother, has put up a very nice haveli, and with a lot of arrangement for our food, morning till evening, done by zero contribution from him, but his wife, Urmila, takes care of that. So we bond with each other very well, the women and us. Then we have in my Bangalore a group of nine good friends, where we meet very often on their birthdays, marriage anniversaries, etc. It happens literally more than once in a month type. Then I have some very close friends in US who studied with me in BIT, and some BIT friends in India too. So that's also a group. Then there are Borukans who work for the Boruka still at one point of time, is also a group. Then I try to avoid the parties, especially because I just can't stand the too much of noise and meaningless talk. And sometimes I just wonder, when you meet straight away, oh, the weather is very nice here, or it is very hot today, or it is raining today. It makes no sense to me if it is void of any intellectual talking. Where I can't pick up something, then I normally part ways with whoever it is I'm talking to. And one more thing that I would say, coming to the end of it, that you need to plan and execute what I'm talking. And it is simple. I have a servant at home who is not even, I don't think he has come from Bihar, maybe 6th, 7th, 8th pass, if at all he is, I don't know that too. And he doesn't speak English, but he goes to Amazon very comfortably without any issue on Hindi, and he will order everything, literally every day, one thing or the other will be ordered by him. He also knows how to transfer money, pay money for that. and which will be ably assisted by my secretary at the office. They together will work on in literally getting one thing or the other which is getting exhausted or to be added as on advice from you. And he will also undertake that they have to be sort of served to me right from morning pre-breakfast to breakfast, midday meal, midday coffee, pre-lunch, post-lunch, evening, pre-dinner, post-dinner. It's a very a difficult regimental schedule to be followed, but he does it. So question is that no, you can do it. You can just train one of your existing smart fellow out of the half a dozen you may have. You will find it does wonders if you make him that yes, it is important for him to do it. He will do it for you. And sometimes I feel that it doesn't cost you anything. Most of these items, especially suppose you go for a walk, go to a park nearby. You want to go to the gym, go to a gym nearby. Yoga, do it online, which is what in COVID time, most of the people have done yoga online. In my case, I come back from my morning walk at 6:45. My yoga trainer is waiting for me. He'll is very senior, Dr. Reddy. He'll take care of a very high level of pranayama, asanas, etc. for 1 hour on daily basis, except Sunday. Couple of times in a week, I have a gym instructor who will come home for my gymming at home. I have a swimming instructor on aqua therapy. She's an Olympian, Dr. Asha. She will come home twice in a week. I have a Dr. Denjil, a physiotherapist who will work twice in a week on some physio problem or the other. So I find most of these things you can still get it on nowadays on online, or you can go nearby, or you can have it at home. So I have created all these facilities at home. So my grandchildren and my family is always find it very convenient to drop in at home, and everybody one or the other will be seen either in the pool or in the gym or with something or the other. So that way it was helpful to have planned those things. Anybody can plan who has a house, some of these things that I'm talking to, but it's a question of taking it seriously, as serious as we all do our business part of it. Business is probably my case of late, maybe late at 75 age, it has become one of the part of the life. I would like to play golf. I like to read. I'd like to find time for various other things that I could not do. In that respect, I find that even if I kind of semi-retire, I find that I don't have enough time to do what I have not done so far. So since the active life may be limited to 5, 10, 15 year time, I might as well plan this part of it also properly, so that I am not taken by surprise, which I have seen many of my friends were taken by surprise and bad luck, I would say. So I would now leave it to Mahavirji or anyone else for any questions. I'm open for that. Thank you.
It's so great to listen to your regime, your diet, your food, role of family, and following a routine, not on a occasional basis, but on a regular basis. It's absolutely seemed as if I was listening to my way of living and life, barring a few differences, and I would like to question some good, some not good. But I'd like to add to your sugar being a poison. Salt, sir, is for Indian diaspora is equally a challenging thing, and bhujia, papad, achar, and I stay away from all of that and take very low salt, because Indians have a cardiac history, and I think high blood pressure and salt is not needed if you're not working out in the sun and not sweating as much, which none of us as entrepreneurs do. So your thoughts, quick thoughts on that?
Yeah, I probably forgot to mention the salt is as much as a poison as sugar is. So we add at our home very little salt in our food. So we normally find that we have to entertain somebody, then they will find it, no, salt is too low. It is just, and we'll never sprinkle a salt.
Absolutely.
Whatever little bit is added and cooking is added.
Yeah,
You're very right, Mohammed.
Thank you. Secondly, of course, age is different. Like you said, your son runs for X kilometers and you walk, and which is rightfully so. Your exercise regime should be based upon your physical strength and age. And your metabolism changes from your grandchildren who can eat a lot more chocolates than you can or I can. And I totally agree with that. And you probably agree with that, right?
Yeah. I mean, we need to do that.
Absolutely. Now, while you did touch upon the role of family, social environment, mental health is very, very critical. I think people who get depressed, lose money or fail in businesses or get other jobs, go into binge eating or start to hurt themselves physically in terms of not following a regime and being careless at times. Do you think the role of mental health is also critical in trying to stay fit as all of us? And
I think this is rather most important question or aspect of life, that how do you, maybe sometimes one can say easy said and done, but this mental health is a matter of your understanding deeply and making effort to understand better and better on various aspects of your life. What do you want to do with your life? This, what I said, was one of them. Health, as we discussed in the last 45 minutes, is another one of them. Then many people, they are heavily into spiritualism, which I am not, for that matter. And but then at the same time, I'm conscious about what makes me happy. How do I balance my life? Do I allow my weight to go up? A single reason where I could make myself very unhappy by allowing my weight to go up by 10%. If I can bring down by 10%, medically, yes, that is the requirement of my physicians who are looking after my health parameters. I still remember Dr. Kim Eagle, who is in Detroit, Michigan State University Hospital, who is like monitoring my heart parameters. He would always maintain, SN, I do not want any inches grown on your stomach or on your belly. Belly must be flat, and if it is not flat, you are in a serious problem of your health. And he says, look, I even do 200 ab crunches in a day myself. He said, you have a problem? Do 200 ab crunches besides your 5-kilometer walk. But I do not want you to have a belly. So we sometimes find belly is a culture in India, especially 9 out of 10 women will have and 7 out of 10 men will have. So I wonder, they're so ignorant. I was in a marriage last weekend, and I'm looking around to find everybody has a problem, looks like that. That shows that 9 out of 10 are not understanding the importance of health. And that is again connected with the mental health. Mental health is a balance of all those things you're understanding with respect to a lot of things, as I mentioned. Thank you.
Last question before we go to the audience questions. The role of medical sciences. Sometimes when we do yoga, exercise, eating right, have fitness coaches, gym, spiritual life, we forget that medical science is an enabler. It's not a roadblock. And guidance from them without surgical intervention or intervention.
there is a disconnect in the sounds. I couldn't pick up the question.
Can I repeat the question?
Yeah, please, yeah.
So while people do exercise, yoga, eating right, have spirituality, have families and social life, they sometimes go overboard and not think medical sciences and medicines and side effects of medicines or surgery are not required, and we can do things with Ayurveda or homeopathy. Do you see medical science as a roadblock to humanity and its health, or it should be a partner?
I think it's a simple indiscipline in depending on the medicines per se. And as you mentioned, it is just, I personally feel that my experience is just not needed. If you follow, like we have in your Goa, I met Dr. Sudhindra, a 1 week of Ayurveda cleansing courses, or with Dr. Luke, I do regular liver cleansing, kidney cleansing of that type. So there are too much of knowledge is available within the country on Ayurveda side. But again, if you are not committed to even a walk in the morning, where 0.1% of the population of the town is not even walking, or 99.9 is not walking. So it is something like that. Only 0.1% is wanting to understand other than the basic minimum. Yeah.
Got it. So Sharad, over to you for audience questions, please.
Yeah. So the first question is here from Dr. Varsha. She is saying, asking for the ways on how to continue the determination and the efforts to keep them sustainable.
Say again.
So what the question is, I'm just reiterating the words which she has putting it in other words. Kindly share the ways how to continue the determination and the efforts to stay healthy on sustainable basis.
Okay, it's simple. If you write down, if she can write down on a piece of paper what I have said now, and her own experiences maybe, continuing is, I don't understand if you commit yourself for a walk for half an hour in a day. Nowadays, you have a Fitbit watches, Apple watches, which can again measure whether you have done your 10,000 steps or not. If you can't do 10, you do 5, doesn't matter. And you can do a couple of thousand up in the evening too for that. So just commit yourself to go for a walk or yoga for that matter. Open the YouTube channel on a regular basis, or Swami Ramnarayan or anyone for that matter. You can follow that like many other friends, they do. And dietary advice that I mentioned, just drop sugar short, as simple as that. And if you are not mentally strong enough to follow 1 or 10 items, then nobody can help you.
Very valid answer. So thank you so much. Another question comes from Mr. Vikram Rastogi.
Sharad,
he's saying,
Sharad,
yeah.
If I may just add to Sir's answer to the previous question. Yes. See, you have to enjoy the change that these habits will bring in you. You have to learn to flaunt. Almost we are.
Mahavir, your voice is flickering. Like maybe you could try turning off the video and speaking.
You don't look age. These common. Sorry, is it better now?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Saying that the only way to continue to do something as a routine is by enjoying it, by being proud of it, by showing off that you don't look your age, you are fit for this age. You are healthier than other people. You are in control of your life. So it's actually it should be part of your mental state also, in my opinion.
I feel the basic fact that we are born as a human being and we are the species with the brain, and the brain says that sugar is bad and salt is bad, then you've got to challenge yourself. I am challenging myself, my lifestyle in terms of my various things that I mentioned, including my diet and exercises, etc. On a daily basis. Daily basis, I would have picked up one thing to challenge myself. And it doesn't go by my taste. It doesn't go by if I like it or not. If it is a poison of some kind, in a way, I will take it, only to make sure that it is going to do good to me. If you don't like it, like I tell my granddaughter, Kahini, no, Dadu, I don't like this. I said, no, you've got to try this. She will take a dosa, thin dosa, which is nothing but fried, and she'll take 1, 2, 3, and she doesn't realize what she's taking it. Instead of that, I tell her, take idli, take vada, or dosa, technically in the south, is very thick. It's only in the north, we have made dosa like a papad. And the papad is nothing but a fried stuff. But she won't understand. Difficult to push her down to. But then those who are little matured enough or old enough, they can understand that they need to drop these items, for that matter, or fried stuff, let's say. Challenge yourself. Thank you, Neil.
Great. Interesting to hear your insights, sir. One connected question which is coming to this is that how the wellness as a principle can be imbibed amongst students who are studying in school, and what should parents actually do to inculcate this in them?
See, I find the good question. I find my grandchildren in Indonesia, Jakarta, the school provides them a tremendous amount of resources to do soccer, swimming, or many other sports that they provide them. And they have gymnastic, athletics, you name it, everything is there. There's a scheduled regular classes for that. There are very senior trainers for that. Unfortunately, in our Indian school, as we are very highly most academic oriented, and we do not give importance to, let's say, fine arts, music, or sports. Some of these things, or liberal arts, some of these things are missing by culture here. So if they are missing by culture, then the government of India should take a note of it and make them a compulsorily people to adopt, to select like an elective subject type in art, something, fine arts, sports. Like my younger grandson in Jakarta, at the age of 9, he was chosen in the national team on the soccer, and he was to go and play in Bangkok in the Asian tournament. But due to COVID, it could have happened. But this is there because the school is helping them to provide a ground, time for them to play. Like of late, they have been playing tennis. And my older grandson says, Dadu, I'm preparing myself for the tournaments, the national tournaments. I said, I'm glad. Even my daughter-in-law, Nidhi, she is playing tennis twice, 2 hours in a day. So when I find the other girls in India here, most of them would have put on double the weight of theirs, and they are just kind of fatso, walking all around. So I think that commitment, culture in our country is missing. As much as I mentioned to you about Indonesia, same thing I find because I have business in Australia. In Australia, in every ward, they have a tennis court. They have all the sports that the people can walk down, anybody can walk down, play and come. So sports is a part of their life. So the part of life is missing in our country here. Again, culture, this is the culture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mahavir, a question to you. on the same. So, any thoughts, ideas you have on what SN is talking about?
No, I totally agree. I mean, I think it should be a holistic approach to youngsters and students. The school does their role, they give us options. But if the family is also equally cultivated and encouraging or participating, and they become role models. Secondly, there should be a fair competition, in terms of staying fit or keeping healthy or running longer or swimming more or whatever the case may be. I think it should be it's the change of mindset that is required across schools and colleges, because we take life and health for granted in India. And I think the total change of mindset has to be a generational mind change, and not just a peripheral mind change. And all of us, as ambassadors and role models, have to continue to reach out to these people.
If we typically look at the age bracket, Mavid, this question is specifically for you. Much closer, I would say, in terms of age respect than even SN on this. Those who are turning to be young parents and themselves struggling with health, what advice would you give them for their own wellness?
My thing is that it should be a part of your daily routine. It cannot be binge exercising or binge, doing it when you are not well or not feeling good. I think walk, exercise, yoga, whatever you like, whatever you enjoy, should be a part of your at least 4 days a week, if not 6 days a week, for sure. I mean, I do it 7 days a week. Why should they? I mean, every day is the same. We work on Sunday, so why not? So my thing is that it should become part of your routine. One. Secondly, the parents have to realize that the students get excited with gymming, bulging biceps and triceps, and protein shakes and supplements. I mean, that's not the right direction to go either. And all these film stars with 6 packs or 8 packs, those are a very, very, very small percentage. I think fitness is far more mental, and looking good and feeling good, rather than just having a sculpted body or doing it once in a while. That's my thought.
Okay, wonderful, excellent. Now, we are running out of time. I understand, but then the discussion has been really very engaging, and thanks to SN and Mavid for that. We have a lot of still questions pouring in, and one of the important thing which people are often concerned about these days is our addiction to gadgets. So, Mr. SN Agarwal, to you, and Mavi, to you, how do you really? So, first, maybe we can start with SN. How do you really manage that? Running such a busy schedule, and gadgets, of course, often have to be used. So, how do you maintain that discipline?
See, gadgets for the purpose of education, learning is being, I use them. But I don't have that frame of mind to keep me properly connected. For that, I have assistants at office, my dear friend here, Naveen, sitting with me here, and at my house, at my office, my secretary. They will normally handle that connectivity part. If the connectivity is done, little bit I know in any case, but most of it I'll just leave it to them. If there's any technical snag or something is wrong, or a Wi-Fi connection at home, how powerful it is, again, they take care of it. But I do use the modern gadgets for the purpose of monitoring my health, let us say. When I went to US and stayed with Naren sir at his house, I found that time, it was I think in 2017 or so, that Fitbit watch had come, the scale had come with a Bluetooth. I bought them, brought them to India, and I saw Naren himself so highly committed, and he proved himself what we are seeing him now. That was a great motivation too. So I do use, I probably would buy a new gadget literally from seeing a YouTube on a regular weekly basis. I would have bought a small, simple resistance loop, a rubber thing last week. Or something else. Like today morning, I said my wife wanted an aqua bike in the pool. so which is not available in India. So I said, okay, get me an offer from Europe. We'll buy one in Europe and bring it here. So on a weekly basis, I would be adding in my gym one thing or the other. So I'm connected with the tools, tackles, or the gadgets in supplementing whatever I do. Thank you.
So my take, Sharad, is that gadgets for education and for work, technology helps us, like we're on Zoom right now and this is a gadget, I think is great, and I think it should be used. But one biggest thing, and what Mr. Agarwal also said, television. I think television is the biggest enemy that we have in our house. It should be thrown out of the bedroom. You are sitting, and every night before a couple sleeps or young kids sleep, they have to see television for an hour or so, whether it's news, whether it's National Geographic. Don't tell me there's something good or bad, but when you're flipping channels, you end up seeing so much of crap, so much of repetition, and you're not talking to each other. You're not even because you're looking at the screen. So I have not seen television, any channel, for the last 20 years. I don't see television at all. So that's where you have to, but yes, entertainment is required. Unblocking your mind is required. If you like video games, time it. 1 hour on a Sunday, 1 hour on a Saturday. You want to watch a movie? Watch a movie once a week, go to the hall, watch it on your television. I'm not saying don't entertain yourself. What I'm trying to say is soap operas, news channels, and all the other channels, other than if you're a sports buff and you like to enjoy tennis or cricket or football, see that match, not every other tournament that's going around in that sport. So you have to, it is a time management issue. And I think if you need to talk to each other, there should be no screen in the room. And that's where your bonding and relationship becomes stronger. And that's my philosophy.
Wow, great. Wonderful observations coming from both ends, and thank you so much. I really want to stop, but then the questions are so pouring in. I'll take one question from Dr. Shinu from IHMR. Dr. Shinu, team could help unmute. Dr. Shinu.
She's still mute, Sharad.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So one more question. Yeah, Shinu, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you, Mr. Kamra. Thank you, Mr. Agarwal, and thank you, Mahavi. So it was pleasure listening to you. I have a very simple question to ask. You guys have been so successful in your life. This is a question more from an entrepreneur's point of view. Today for entrepreneurs, especially post-COVID time, it's all about multiple, all-nighters and weekends, and they have plenty of stress. And exercises take the bottom of priority list. Work-life balance is quite unbalanced today. So, there is always a question, how do I get a me time for myself? And I would like to understand from both of you that how much me time you guys spend for yourself.
Let me see if I've understood correctly. The time of multiple today, evaluation, etc., all that I find that having done for 50 years, I really didn't achieve much. It's time to get out of it. So even though most of my work would have an impact of a right decision or wrong decision of $100 million type, let's say. But then I realize there's a life beyond this. Let me draw a line that, yes, this is to stop in the next 6 months or so at this point of time, and look for something else. So your priorities must change as you are growing. As we normally say, you're not growing young. So those priorities will be left behind, and new priorities will be discovered and disciplined or incorporated in my life. Thank you.
So, Sharad, I have a different take on this. And there's a question from Rishabh Khandelwal on similar lines.
Yes, yes, I was about to come on that.
Yeah, when you're 20, 30, working on as a startup, I'll tell you, last 5 days, I've been working 16 hours a day. I've been shooting for a reality TV show on startup investment in Bombay. I've slept for 3-4 hours. I was committed to be in Chandigarh for TiCon today. I was committed to be here at 11. I did not get time to walk or exercise in the last 6 days. But at the airport, I walked. I did not take the escalator. I took the steps. I have not in any of these days eaten anything wrong. I've eaten small meals because it's being catered and it's all oily and junk, but I will take some rice, some whatever vegetable or meat that I like. Small meals 5 times a day. You have, despite being busy, and it can't be going on forever because you will tire out and you burn out and you're fatigued, and I'm not well. I have a small cough and little fever, but you need to take a break. So now I will be taking a break for a day tomorrow, which is a Sunday. So, but you have to understand, when you have to work, you have to work. But that does not mean eating wrong. That does not mean eating pizzas and sitting on the bed and lying on a different bad posture. That does not mean that you are not walking while you're working. You can talk and walk. You can be on the phone and walking. I mean, I could have been on the phone on this Zoom call and had my 1 hour of walk. It's all here. It's all in the mind. You have to really make work, exercise, mental health, eating right, part of your daily life. And working for 16 hours, 17 hours, and it's age specific. I understand I'm almost in the last leg of my life as a career, and I will start to slow down because body will give in. But at the young age, you can push yourselves to a thing, but don't compromise on exercise and eating wrong food.
Okay. I must thank all of you for giving me an opportunity to share.
Thank you so much, sir.
Especially Mahavirji, Sharad, and my guru and my sir, senior Narenji, and Shinu, and all of you. And look forward to meeting with you.
Mr. Agarwal, before we really say a vote of thanks for you. Your own dear friend, your own senior from your school is putting a question to you.
Who?
Mr. Bakshi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he is saying that 90% of the people, as you mentioned, that 90% of the people need to improve their health. So his question is, how can Crack the Wellness Code scale up to reach millions? What is your observation?
I think a program like this, if we can reach out to more and more people with some success stories, maybe 10 people get motivated today with this program, and it gets, geometrically multiplied over a period of time. That little effort will do. I don't think much bigger thing can be done. Little efforts should be done. Thank you, Naren.
Sure. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much, S.N. Agarwalji. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was really a pleasure to be with Mahavir and S.N. Agarwalji. And Naren sir, is there something you would want to share before we close the session?
No, I will ask Mahavir, what are your thoughts of how do you scale it up?
I totally agree with Agarwalji in terms of making an edited version of this YouTube and getting out as many inspirational stories as possible out on the social media. Also, I think integrating it with what youngsters or 30-year-olds or 40 years do or enjoy is something that we should also do. I personally feel that it's a very tall order. It's not easy, but there is some change. But I think continuous effort at all levels, at school, college, work life, professional life, and also from the government and non-profits and private organizations is very critical. I think it's very important that we continue to do these kinds of efforts and reach out to people online at least.
Great. Thank you very much, Mahavir.
Thank you so much, Mahavir. Amazing observations. It will be I really hope, the inputs which have been shared during the entire deliberation will be of value to all the, audiences, and I, request now our managing trustee, Mr. Kala, to take over and deliver the vote of thanks. Mr. Kala.
Thank you so much, Sharad. We can't thank Mr. S.N. Agarwal and Mahavir enough for giving us insight into what our life should be. It has to be a balanced life. It has to be a disciplined life. And we need to set our priorities right in case we want to achieve what we want to achieve, and that is good health. I remember talking to General Suhagi about my school types, and he says he would run 10 kilometers every day, even when he was Chief of Army Staff. So the takeaway is, if he can do it, we can do it too. So with that, I would move forward and thank our. Is my screen visible?
Not yet, sir. Yeah, it's now. Yes. It's visible. Yes, now.
So this is for our next event, which is, you all know that we are doing a Fat to Fit series, 6 events in the series. The next is Sleep for Success and Experiential Yoga for Obesity, which is on Sunday, 8th of May at 11 a.m. Experts, you came across Mr. Sharad Kamra just now, who conducted this session, and then Mrs. Sneha Vasis, who is a clinical psychologist. You have met both of them before also. So this is the 6-part series that we have been, doing. 1, 2, 3 are already done, and I hope it's benefiting our patrons and partners and supporters. Our event partners have been JES, Jaipur South, Mohan Foundation, Jaipur Citizen Forum, IS University, and IHMR. We thank all of them for helping us out. And then we have, besides IHMR, IS, we have MFJCF, Bitosa, Jewelers Association, RCCI, and all these people who help us on a daily basis. Our area development partners, corporate wellness partners, NGO partners, and wellness partners. Pro bono partners who help us run our, take care of all our legal and accounting requirements. Team of doctors, like we have advisors in Dr. Sudhir Bhandari and Dr. Sheila Nambiar. And then we have Dr. Co-chairs in Dr. Sunil Jain, Dr. Rashmi Jain, and Dr. Chavi Mehra. We are really grateful to them and thankful to them. Our core team of advisors, Harminder, Adi Gurudas, Jitendra Gautam, and Arushi. And then we have our ambassadors, Mr. Mahavir Pratap Sharma, whom we all just saw, Mrs. Neeta Bushra, and Major General CP Singh. And our management team, Mr. Bakshi, you saw in the beginning. Myself, then Mr. Somnath Chatterjee, based out of US, Sharad Kamra, you saw again. Umar Dinji, Tushar, Azhar, and Vaishnavi. And then, as you all know, we are migrating to Crack the Wellness Code, India Foundation from the Wellness Code, and we'll bring more interesting topics. Reach out to us on 733-995-1157. And also visit our website, www.thewellnesscode.org. Thank you so much once again for joining in.